Welcome to another tale from the Magic Story Cauldron. Let's see what bubbles up today. Here's a story of the Monkey King. Once upon a long time ago, there was a monkey. He lived in the treetops of a remote jungle with a large family of monkeys. One day, a woodcutter came to the jungle to fetch logs for his family's fire. But when he felled a large tree, he accidentally trapped the young monkey under the tree as it dropped to the forest floor. When the woodcutter saw his surprise, he decided to bring the monkey home as a present to his king. The monkey was bright, was quickly tamed, and learned very fast. He was soon the royal pet. The king let him run everywhere about the palace. So the monkey spent his days visiting the royal courts and kitchens, the guards' quarters, and all the other things going on in and around the palace. He easily learned to imitate the manners of the royal company, the ministers, the guards, and even the cook who chased him from her kitchen. It was impossible not to laugh at that monkey's antics. After a few years, the king requested that the woodcutter return to the palace. And he asked the woodcutter, as a favour to this monkey who has pleased us so, please bring him back to the jungle where he was captured. It would be kindest if we let him live out his years with his fellow monkeys. So the woodcutter did as the king asked. He brought the monkey back to the very same spot in the same jungle and released him. The moment the woodcutter left, 100 monkeys surrounded the palace monkey, all asking questions at once. Where have you been living this long time? Where did that man take you? Did you go on a great adventure? Why did he let you go free? On and on and on the monkeys clamoured, full of curiosity, understandably. Finally, when they quieted down, the palace monkey told his tale. He told them all about the king's splendid palace and how he had entertained the king. He told them of the sumptuous feasts, the elegant dances, the noble ministers of the royal court, the king's fearsome army, and the dark, dark dungeons. Then how did you escape? They wanted to know. I was such a good pet. I amused them all so that they felt badly keeping me from my home, and the king decided to set me free again. So here I am. Now the monkeys were really excited. Tell us all about palace life, they jumped and shouted. Tell us about the ways of the people. Tell us about the grand deeds of a king, they insisted. No, you wouldn't want to know, cautioned the palace monkey. You really won't like it. But the monkeys would not let up until he agreed to show them what life was like for a king. So the palace monkey picked up a monkey in the troop and said, Okay then, you be the king, get up on this high rock and make it your throne, and we will set to work and bring you the best fruit in the kingdom. So the monkey king sat up on his rock throne, surveying his kingdom, looking quite content and pleased with himself. Soon a huge pile of delicious fruit surrounded him. After a time, the king monkey began to feel somewhat distressed. But I could never eat all this fruit, even in a whole year, and now there's nothing left for all of you to eat. Of course you can't eat it all, said the palace monkey, but that doesn't matter to a king. The point is that you eat whatever you want. You know, but you must not give any of it away. You must always keep a large pile so that others know you're very rich and very powerful. So the monkeys, wishing to be like men, brought even more fruit, stacked it even higher around their king. What else do we do? Asked the monkeys when there was no more fruit to be had. Well, Now you must all come before the king and praise him in every way you can imagine. Oh, the monkeys liked this idea. That sounded like fun, so they tried it. Well, no wonder he's king, said one. His coat glistens like water. Oh, his fur is as thick as deep grass, boasted another. I've never seen such a strong and capable animal, exclaimed a third monkey. No one is as wise and dignified as our king, and so they gathered around their king and enjoyed themselves in flattering him. Enough of that, said the little palace monkey. Now it's time to come behind the throne and say terrible things about the king. Well, the monkeys didn't like this idea at all, and at first refused to do it. But the palace monkey persevered, saying, You have to try this if you want to learn the ways of the people. See what it's like. So the monkeys gathered behind the rock and whispered insults about the king. Have you noticed how old and confused the king seems lately? Asked the monkey. His eyes seem dull and he constantly forgets what he said, chuckled another. I think his fur is getting extremely thin. I think he might even be going bald in some very funny spots, said a third. I've noticed that the king eats more like a pig than a monkey, said a fourth, and they all howled. At last the insulted monkey king could stand it no longer. He jumped off his throne and ran after them through the trees, but the monkeys each escaped in 100 different directions from the frustrated king. When the monkey king at last returned to his throne, his eyes widened in astonishment. All the fruit had vanished. Where's the fruit? Cried the king. All my fruit is gone. All my fruit is stolen, he bellowed. Yes, it's a shame, said the palace monkey, but these things happen even to a king. Now, your guards must go and find the thieves. That's what a king would do. And when the guards capture the thieves, they must be sentenced to death at once. What? Cried the monkey king. You want me to kill them? Oh, how could such a terrible thing come to pass, he wailed, and he covered his ears with his hands and he wept. No more, cried all the monkeys. We don't want to know anything else about the ways of people and kings. The palace monkey then recited for them a little poem he had made up about life at the palace. This gold is mine, this gold is mine, so they cry both night and day. These foolish folk who live in splendour never think about the holy way. And with that, the monkeys ran away from the rock and back up to the treetops where they all lived happily ever after. The Monkey King.